What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. And we're back again, once again, this time checking out my running back rankings for the 2021 NFL Draft Class. If you haven't already, I've already done quarterback, so you can check that up at the little eye card thing at the top. But I'm going to give you my top 10 quarterbacks in this draft class. And if you're a Bro Scout tier member, then you're going to get my full running back rankings. It's the best way to support the channel, and remember, all support is much appreciated, much obliged. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. We're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers, so help us get there today by throwing me a subscription. It's much appreciated, much obliged. And leave this video a thumbs up. It helps the video out a ton. Indulge in that nice, sensual football discourse in the comment section below. Let me know who are your favorite running backs in this class, or how you think my list is crap. I will enjoy it one way or another. Starting this list with Travis Etienne. You knew it was coming. I love Travis Etienne. He is one of my favorite prospects in this draft class. The guy is just a home run threat, lightning in a bottle. He is a touchdown waiting to happen, a big play waiting to happen anytime the ball is in his hands. And the best thing he did over the last 2 seasons was improve in the passing game, which he really made an emphasis of that going to practice. Like, hey, I want to become a better receiver in the passing game, which he did over the last 2 seasons. 85 receptions for over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, 25 forced missed tackles on receptions. Phenomenal, great burst. The guy takes contact well. He has 216 forced missed tackles over his career. That's not included in the passing game. Like I said, this guy just shrugs off contact. He has great balance and ability. When I say shrugs off contact, more so like arm tackles and such, but he handles contact well. If I were to nitpick this, I'd say he can get a little too east-west type of running. He's too bouncy in the backfield. He gets a bit impatient while waiting for holes to develop along the line. Also, again, in this one, I don't really consider it a bad thing, is he's never been a 20 carry type of guy. And in an NFL that's moving more away from that type of, hey, bell cow type of runner to, we're going to use a running back by committee type of approach. We're going to get a few guys that do some things very well. So, I mean, his last 20 carry game was in 2018. So I'm not worried. I'm not concerned about that. More so would be being a little, I guess, too bouncy. That's really the best way to put it. He's more east-west sometimes in the backfield, and it's a bit worrisome. But he's my number 1. Going to number 2, I got Javonte Williams from North Carolina. It's really close between him and cat's out of the bag. Najee Harris is going to be number 3. But Javonte Williams, again, just the guy doesn't go down. He has some special tackle breaking ability. Turn on that Miami tape. And I know there's a few runs there that were impressive, but you know the run I'm talking about. You know the run where it makes you put the candles on, turn the lights down low, put on a little Barry White or whatever gets you in the mood, and then, oh boy, I hope you have some tissues on hand because the run was that beautiful. That's Javonte Williams for you. Now, he is really good. 5'10". I was kind of hoping he would stick to about 220, but he's at 212. I don't think it'll really affect him. Last season, he had 75 forced missed tackles, and that was over just the course of 157 carries. And the year before, he had 56 broken tackles on 165 carries. So with less carries, he increased that load by almost 20 forced missed tackles. He doesn't have much in terms of long speed, but again, the dude is, I think he has enough. He has more long speed than I'd say Najee Harris. But dude just has incredible burst. When he sees the hole, he's gone. No real upside in the passing game, which I think you can make an argument then for Najee Harris to be actually number 2. I just happen to favor Williams. But let's talk about Najee Harris, because the dude, for back his size, 6'1", 230, very special receiving skills. He has 33 broken tackles on 70 receptions over his career. Huge catch radius, even for a running back. Just made some special catches over his career. You could point to the LSU game where he took a wheel route and just had he just went up on a contested catch, brought it down there at the pylon. Just phenomenal. And the guy, his size and strength, it just translates to the NFL one way or another. He's not going to break the big run. He only has, 25 carries for 20-plus yards in his career. And this is kind of what separated Williams from Harris is, while yes, North Carolina, they have a more veteran offensive line opposed to Alabama, which I would say way more talented offensive line. Najee's running behind an exceptionally talented offensive line. More times than not, he is getting to the line of scrimmage free of contact. The thing is, he only had last season 3.26 yards after contact, opposed to a guy like Williams who was well over 4 yards per yards per contact. And that number for Najee Harris was actually, it was the least amount among my guys in the top 10. Does that mean he's bad? By no means. No, there's a lot of things Najee Harris does exceptionally well. I think he's going to be a good running back. And really, you could take the three of these guys, Etienne, Williams, and Harris, whoever you really have as if you have someone different as your top back, I don't blame you. Like, these guys could be interchangeable. They bring very different things. I think they're clearly the top running backs in this class, though. Third round grade or second round grade on all these guys, though, because running back value is the thing. And then to start off that next tier, I have a third round grade on Michael Carter out of North Carolina. This guy is kind of like a bowling ball. He's 5'8", 200 pounds, 201. 1 pound makes a difference. He plays a more physical brand, though, or at least he opts to. He doesn't shy away from contact. He's willing to lower the shoulder and lay the boom. He had 700 yards after contact last season. Great balance. And you could tell that by whether it's him shrugging off contact or just he explodes off cuts, man. Literally, cuts on a dime is in this man's vocabulary. Real weapon in the passing game. He had 8 forced missed tackles on 25 receptions last season. But you do have to wonder, given he typically opts to go for contact rather than use finesse, because like this guy's stop-start ability, top notch, man. It's really hard to touch him off the bat. But when he does opt for contact, you kind of wonder, with his size and that mentality, will that translate to the NFL? He's going to be a good pass catcher. Doesn't offer much in pass protecting, in my opinion. He just wasn't used in that fashion at North Carolina. And then I have Khalil Herbert here out of Virginia Tech as my final day 2 guy out of the running back position. His game's just going to translate well. Like, he's got a low center of gravity, great tackle breaking ability. I mean, 5'9", 210. And on top of that, he's got quite a bit of speed, like straight line speed. He ran a 4.46 there at the pro day. Again, once he gets going, man, it's going to be hard to stop this guy. I mean, so much so Virginia Tech used him in the return game. So that's one thing. He's got exceptional balance. Again, the low center of gravity, it helps a ton. He produced pretty well before transferring from Kansas, where Puka Williams actually took a bulk of the carries there. But again, while he's fast, he's not exactly a quick athlete. Don't expect this guy to cut on a dime. More so, he cuts on quarters. That's about it. I'd say his athletic ability is above average, but straight line speed is a real deal. He is not really a threat in the passing game, whether it's a pass catcher, and I don't think he's going to be much of or at least he's going to have to develop to be a pass blocker. He was kind of so-so at the Senior Bowl at that. So again, no real threat in the passing game. It's just his brand of football translates to today's NFL. That just happens to be the case. If you like the draft, which you're checking this video out, I imagine you do like the draft, then check out walkthemock.com. It is a live draft simulator where you can draft against real people in real time. We do this all, like, during our streams. We do mock drafts, and you could draft against the likes of me, because I know you think you're better than me. So come prove you're better than me with Walk the Mock. Links in the description below. You got to be a premium member to do a live draft with people. But if you use promo code BROSHMO, all caps, uppercase, then it gets you 20% off. So go ahead and do that. You can do it for the month. You can do it for the year. But yeah. And then to start my 4th round, I got Demetric Felton. A lot of people, they put him under receiver now. I get it, but I still think he's got the scat back ability. So I'm still going to label him as a running back for now. I think he was up around 200 pounds or maybe 195, 200 during playing at UCLA. He decided to drop weight for the Senior Bowl, knowing that he was going to be practicing with the receivers. And dude looked good, man. Like, he had the highest win rate of any of the running backs in drills against defensive backs. It was like, what was it, 62%. Just his combination of speed and quickness just makes him exceptionally deadly in the slot. So I don't mind if you see him as only a slot. Like, he's a former receiver. He's got a high level of like route running. He's explosive off breaks. It's just, I still think you can use him out of the backfield. I think that's what makes him very valuable. A lot of his stuff, it's kind of reminiscent of Antonio Gibson out of Memphis from last season. Obviously, Gibson was much bigger, but I would say that Felton is way more developed as a pass catcher, as a route runner. But he was used a bit as a bell cow last season for UCLA. In 6 games, he had over 130 carries. He's shifty, but he is a bit hesitant. Like, he goes down relatively quickly, you know. So he's not much for after contact, but I think you could still use him maybe as a pass catcher out of the background. You could line him up in a variety of different ways. Even if he just ends up being a slot, I still think the 4th round's about where he should go. And then 7 is my guy, Rhamondre Stevenson. You're probably not going to see anyone else as high on Rhamondre Stevenson as I am. There's something about a big man looking like a ballerina. Just, it gets me. That's kind of the comp here. Like, he's got very good footwork. He's very fleet of foot. He's very patient for a man that's 230, cuts on a dime. And go back to the Florida Bowl game, and he had a run where it was around the red zone, and just how like patient, just his cut-in ability, like, and he was playing at 247. Big guys just don't move like that. He's definitely got a lot of finesse in his running style, but I really wish he was a bit more physical. Given his size, you'd expect him to at least be a bit of a bulldozer, and he really isn't. He runs more like a burner, waiting for the hole, and then just he's explosive out of his cut, but I wouldn't say he has long field speed. He really doesn't have a lot of tread on the tires, which is good. He was a JUCO transfer, really only got playing time last year. Won't run away from anybody, and his route tree is your default running back route tree. Swings and screens, baby. Swings and screens, which is fine. In terms of his testing, I didn't expect him to test out great, but his 3-cone was amazing. Who would have thought? A man with ballerina-esque feet had a great 3-cone. Doesn't surprise me one bit. I got him as a 4th rounder. Also in the 4th round, I have Kenneth Gainwell out of Memphis. A lot of people are exceptionally high on him. I could see why. I think a lot of people would assume, oh man, this is a guy that probably could, like, very similar to Demetric Felton, could go to the slot. By no means is he as developed as a route runner as Felton is, but he had that capability. He did decide to opt out, which I kind of understand. At first, I kind of knocked him for it because I was like, man, you really wish. I feel like I really felt like if he played this year, he could have improved his stock. But given Memphis and kind of their scheme, how they ran, it probably wouldn't have. So he probably made the right call opting out. But when he did play in 2019 for Mike Norvell and his super gimmicky offense there. He looked great. This is a man that is elite in space. His agility is just top notch. He's explosive with the ball in his hands. In 2019, he had 37 touches that went for 15 yards or more. He put on 10 pounds, which was great to see. I was happy to see he put on 10 pounds. And then he proceeded to run a 4.42. Just top notch. Again, a lot of people may think more slot than running back. Maybe not, though. Like, put it on the weight. I appreciate that. I think you can still try to work this guy at running back. He did play for a bit of a gimmicky offense. So you might question his vision because he didn't run a lot of like NFL rushing concepts there in 2019. So maybe his vision could be an issue, but again, that's just projecting. If you're going off top ability, I can see why people maybe have him higher on their board. And then on to Trey Sermon out of Ohio State. I got him as a 4th rounder. This guy he's just going to translate to a good running back. There's no passing upside to as far as we know to his tape, but in terms of doing running back things, he does running back things and he does them exceptionally well. I think a good comp for Sermon is James Robinson, who just came out of Illinois State. I think he went undrafted out of Illinois State, but Sermon had very similar testing numbers. He doesn't have long field speed. He was a 4.6 guy, so he's not going to run away from anybody, but he's pretty nimble and explosive. And again, a lot of what he does just translates. Great short area burst. Dude can stop on a dime. His running style, like the dude just shrugs off contact like it's nothing. Like a bit of his game is a little Marshawn Lynch-esque. I'm just going to throw that out there. I do think he doesn't have a big ceiling, but at the running back position, you don't really need a guy with a huge ceiling. You're really looking for the high floor type of guys, and I would say Sermon is that. And then my final 4th round prospect and my final one on this list, unless if you're words, speaking in tongues now, unless you are a Bro Scout tier member, you're going to get the final prospect here. But if you are a Bro Scout tier member, we're going to go over 17 more prospects in the running back class, so hang tight. And if you're not a Bro Scout tier member, hey, there's a little initiative to become one. I got Chuba Hubbard. I got Chuba Hubbard coming in here at 10. A guy that probably could have been a 2nd, 3rd round pick if he came out in 2020, but decided to return. And really, his stock's going to fall because of like 2 things. The dude's got a lot of tread on his tires. He has dealt with injuries. And he has seven fumbles over the course of 2 seasons. Not good. And he didn't even play all of this year. So those 2 things are really concerning. But what you are getting is someone who he has a bit of pass catching ability. Oklahoma State didn't showcase it a lot. And speaking of Oklahoma State, he didn't really play in a scheme that ran a lot of NFL concepts. That just happens to be the thing. They ran this like wide RPO zone type scheme, and a lot of his runs were inside zone type plays. I will say, dude's very patient. He's very decisive as a runner. He really dominated on those inside zones. Great straight line speed. He could run away from a lot of people. But what you like to see is the yards after contact. This guy eats contact like it's nothing. In 2019, he had over 1,300 yards after contact. A lot of running backs didn't even have that from scrimmage. Wild. So, again, a guy who I think Hubbard, you could instantly put in your rotation in some ways. I think he's still a quality prospect. But that's it for the video. Unless, of course, you're a Bro Scout tier member, then hang with me. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.